everyone, welcome to Tactical Tuesday. Tonight's topic is, yes, there it is, neighborhood situational awareness. But before we jump into that, I want to say hi to everybody and see how everybody's doing here. Let me go check my how many people got in here in the chat here and say hi to everybody. All right, first one in was Skinner Farms. Next one in was Super Scout, then Pastor McQuaddy, then Jay, and Jay is a member of Camp Patton, my other channel, so he's a member over there. And then we got Rita Hunter came in, and everybody's saying hi back and forth. Kaylin Strain's in the house. Mary Beth Smith is here. And make sure you just jumped on me, make sure I didn't miss anybody. Okay, all right. Those are all the ones that are talking. We got a couple of us that might be lurking, but hey, I don't mind you lurking. At least say hi once to begin with. All righty. So, I almost missed this tonight. I got on my ride-on lawnmower, and I'm out there, and I started, checking it, the grass is deep. I'm out there with it raised up as high as it will go and going off to the side. And Kathy D. Salt and Light came in, and Debs is in the house as well. All right, so I'm out there, and I'm playing around, all right, and I'm not using the bagger because as deep as the grass is out there on the east side of the house, east side of the shop out there, I would go about 20 feet, stop, have to take the two big baskets off of it, go dump them, and that. So I just disconnected the tube from the hopper, and it was just kind of shooting out and dropping right there behind me, making a nice row of grass clippings I was going to pick up later. Gear Grinding 19's in the house, and Tennessee Bushcrafters here. And so I'm going along, and it's doing good. Some of the areas I got to slow down for because it's so thick. If I don't just creep through it, it'll plug up the chute. And I got it going. And once I made my first initial pass, then I was only making half passes, and it'd blow out fine. I'm just about done, and I'm making one of my turns, and the wind changes direction on me and blows hard. And all the stuff I just shot out is flying back over me, and I'm covered with grass clippings, and it's down my neck and everywhere. Yeah, I was leaving trails behind me out there, and it was just, I'm just itching all of a sudden. And so I'm finishing up there, and then I realized, crap, I got a live. And so I went and parked it, got off it, started to come in the house. As I stopped the back door, a bunch of grass fell off me. I go, so I'm there scraping everything off of the back door, shaking things off. Pulled off the shirt. As I pulled the shirt off, down the back of my back where it goes into the pants, a big old wad of grass comes flying out. And it's like, okay, I got to take a shower. So I'm in there taking a shower as quick as I can. I get back in here, and it's like, oh, crud, man. I hope nobody came in and saw I wasn't here and bailed on the ones that I asked to come up here, which would have been Bruce, Backwoods Law, Steve, Corsair Trainers. I sent an email inviting Don, WD Lock and Roll, and Scott of Hidden Valley Homestead, all former police officers. So that's what I was trying to get him in here to, talk about situational awareness and neighborhood awareness. All right. So one of the things I like a lot, posted or pinned comment was, get your notepad, because we're going to talk about some things. Now, if you're not subscribed to Corsair Trainers, that's Steve, you really need to check him out. And he just moved last summer from one house to another neighborhood. And he did a couple of videos on him walking around the neighborhood or first driving around, then walking around, checking out the neighborhood to get a feel for it. In other words, neighborhood situational awareness, And so that's one of the things we're going to talk about tonight. So, see anybody else sneak in here? Yeah. It's the bugs. I don't mind the bugs, so much. It's those little, we got these little black fuzzy spiders and they jump too. And yeah, ugh. Anyways, hey, Alicia, got Alicia in the house now. So, that's what's, going to be, that's the thing was going on with me today and why I almost missed my live stream. All right. Other news for the channel here. GrayManPrepping needs, let me double check it here. Needs 50.1 hours to hit the 4,000 mark. However, I need 300 subscribers. So I'm probably going to do a, in about a month, I will hit the 4,000 mark. If not by the end of tonight, by the end of Thursday night for the midnight ride of GrayManPrepping. And so then I just got to work on getting subscribers. So I'll probably in about a month, I'm going to throw out a contest out, for to help me get those subscribers with a $100 Amazon gift card. Wolf spiders are a little bit. Wolf spiders are big, and we used to have them at scout camp, but they don't bug me like these little black ones. And Ephros, these little black ones, when they get up on my head and stuff, I worry about them growing in my ears or up my nose. I actually had one go up my nose, and fortunately, I had already taken a deep breath. I was able to just snort it back out. So, but yeah. So here's so if you Tennessee, if you're going to share out. Well, I'm going to do a video on the contest and stuff about how to share it out because it worked really good over on Camp Patton Family Compound. Got me up really quick, and I gave out a whole bunch of stuff on that one. But anyways, for here, let's just get on with tonight, and we're going to see what we can do here as far as neighborhood situational awareness. All right, so let's go to the first slide. Now, I've had several videos out on situational awareness, both a live stream and did a couple on your prep for today. And situational awareness is, you got yourself and around you become aware of what's going on around you. Well, and that's is important for, someone that's walking home late at night, they be aware of what's going on happening right around them at that time. And, especially for kids. And that's one of the ones that I had with Steve up here from Corsair Trainers. We did one on teaching children situational awareness. So, but what we're going to talk about is neighborhood. What's going on in your neighborhood? Things you need to know about, because there are things that I got some other slides we're going to look at, and then we're going to come back and address a bunch of these at the end. But in your neighborhood, I'm sure I trust that person. I will never trust that person over there. That one guy over there, he needs to get rid of those dogs or treat them right. And you know what I mean. You should know a little bit about your neighborhood already. So, okay, I'm just trying to keep up on the chat here at the same time. So I'm multitasking here, folks. All righty. So, most people know what their neighborhoods are like during the daytime. How many have taken a walk or a slow drive around your neighborhood at night to see where the party guys are at? And I'm not talking about just in your block. I'm talking about a 4 or 5 block, 4 blocks wide, 4 blocks this way, an area around that you should really need to be aware of. And let's see here. Also, does your neighborhood have a creek or stream somewhere through it? This may sound strange. Even back in where my wife is in California there, in the city there, it's the county seat. Martinez is the county seat. there are several streams and creeks flowing through there. And generally, they try to set up a park around it. So you have a park, but then you have the stream going off here, and there's all sorts of other stuff going on around too. Of course, the biggest thing there is you have all these kids going out of the park, up the stream, going crawdad fishing. But you need to know about that. Also, is there one particular house that the cops are always coming to? Yeah. We don't have a one that the cops are always coming to from where my wife is at. It's a block and a half down the road, down towards the main road. There's a house that the ambulance is always coming to, because it's sort of like a, it's not really a hospice, but it's sort of a hospice type house where they have, they have people come in, one or two people, people with medical conditions that are being looked after there. Oh, Passamaquoddy has it backing up. Yeah, so there's a brook runs right by her complex. That same creek that runs right near my wife's house in California there. After it leaves there, then it goes underground. They piped it, and then it comes out again by an apartment complex before it goes into pipe again, and goes probably about half a mile in pipe, then dumps out into another creek. All right. Yeah. So there's learn where certain happenings are going on in the neighborhood, and whether those happening places, those homes, are ones to seriously avoid or not. Of course, in there you may have a house that looks totally abandoned, and I froze. You may have a house that looks abandoned, and it could actually be abandoned. And because sometimes the city doesn't. Somebody owns it. They're out of state. Can't get a renter in there anymore, and they're just paying taxes on it, thinking someday they'll sell it, not realizing it's falling apart, becoming an eyesore, and driving down property values in your neighborhood. So that if you have one of these like this, sometimes the city or county doesn't zero in on it. So sometimes you need to drop a dime. But let's see here. Some others are just plain old ugly. The people that are still there. And some of them have these general little golden nuggets of information laying around that will clue you into it. And we'll come back to this later. Yeah, my favorite. People to keep dogs chained up, and the dogs are all mad and all the time. All right, YouTube. I know this channel in no way condones what's on this building. We do not condone it. We're just showing it as a bad example. Moving on. Okay, and sometimes you may see this, signs like this, and we'll go into what this stuff is all about when we come back to it at the end. All right, other things going in your neighborhoods. Are there neighborhood parties? Are there get-togethers? Is there a neighborhood party that everybody shows up to, like in the park or something like that? All right, stuff like this you need to keep an eye on. Speaking of parks, playgrounds is something to keep an eye on or learn about. Does your neighborhood butt up against the business district where there are restaurants and other things? Things like that is something you need to learn about too. And I think, nope, not quite there yet. And the biggest thing, people say, I got all sorts of technology. I know everything that's going on in my neighborhood. Increased technology does not increase situational awareness. How many people were watching those videos about 2, maybe 3 years ago where the person's walking in the mall? There's about 20 of them that were out there, different people walking in the mall on their phone, and they walk into the fountain on the mall, down in the fountain, or they walk into a door or something like that. Yeah. So, being aware, situational awareness, it helps you do your emergency preparedness planning so you can be prepared for things. And I think this is where it goes blank. Oh, wrong way. Yeah, that's the last slide. So I'm going to drop back to here. And I'm going to run these slides back to the beginning here so we can talk about them in order here a little bit more. So Situational awareness for yourself is different than, you can be aware of where you're going, but if you don't go everywhere in your neighborhood, there could be areas of your neighborhood that you don't know what's going on over there. And what I liked what Steve did when he moved into his new neighborhood, he drove all the streets once or twice to figure out what things were, a day and night, and then he walked it. Took his dog out for a walk so it didn't look like he was, snooping everybody out. And he made mental notes, and I'm not sure if he actually recorded notes or not, but made mental notes about things, and figured out different things. And he ran into some of the local busybodies. Hi, are you new in the neighborhood? Chatty, chatty, chatty for 15 minutes. Well, he said, like he says, you can pick up a lot of information from the busybodies. All right, so looking at the picture off here, let me bring it back up here. Looking at this picture here, you got some compact housing, little private driveways. They really kind of packed everything. I mean, these are way less than a quarter acre. These are probably a fifth of an acre or a sixth of an acre. But then you have some of them, like some of these lots here haven't sold, and they got stuff set up on them, and they got, looks like a little orchard up here around it. So there's different things around. I wish I had a bigger picture of this map here to see exactly what was going on. But if you can use Google Maps or Google overhead just to take a look at what your neighborhood looks like, and you may say, "Whoa, I didn't realize that guy had 40 junkers in his backyard." And so you can check things out, see what things look like. And if you see someone has a big garden, it's like, and I froze. If you see someone has a big garden, that might be someone you might want to go introduce yourself to. Say, "Hey, I noticed you have a garden. I garden too," and make what's it called? Network, and start networking in your community. Hey, Albany Mountain Homestead, how's it going? And I'm not sure if I missed anybody else here that came in, snuck in on me here. I don't think so. Scrolling back up here, taking a quick look. Okay, I think I got everybody. And if I missed anybody, I'm sorry. Hi. All right, so using Google Maps, you can really look at your neighborhood, figure things out. However, you got to realize sometimes Google is it is way behind. When we bought the house across the street here, let me make myself a little bigger here. When we bought the house across the street here back in 2016, the last time Google came through and took pictures of the neighborhood was 2011, because that was actually on it, taken blah blah. I think it was August 2011. Well, I did another couple days ago. I looked at my neighborhood again, and hey, it had my pickup in front of my house instead of one of Brandon's semis. Hey, Ginger Ale Bear, how's it going? And so sometime between last January and the first of this month, they came through and took pictures. I really didn't look at the date and timestamp on it, but actually, I can probably tell you it was probably around about June at least, because that's when I put the one drag box out there, and I got to put it up for sale again. Because the last time I put up for sale, all I got was scammers. Anyways, yeah, so you can check the neighborhood, and sometimes things change and everything else. So, it was like 2011. So it was like 10 years off from the last time Google came through my small town. Of course, in a big city, it probably come through a lot more often. All right, let's look at the next slide here and make it big and me small. So at night, if you're going to be checking out your neighborhood at night, it's best not to do it alone if you can. Cruising around slowly at night, you might have someone in the neighborhood that says, "Oh, why is that guy cruising slow?" and calls the police on you. But if you're out walking, they're not so apt to. But you also, if you drive around during the daytime and you find out whether or not you want to go cruising, walk in the neighborhood at night, is a decision you have to make. All right. So if you have a couple friends and you get 2 or 3 people walking around together, a group of people is less likely a target, and you can take everyone paying attention can spot things and everything else too. So looking at your neighborhood, daytime and nighttime, you're going to notice different things. We actually already went into the creek pretty good, but if you have a creek in your neighborhood, you may want to follow it upstream to see what's upstream, what else is being dumped into it. If it looks pretty, it goes out into a wilderness area and there's no industrial thing dumping crap into that stream, that water may be, a source for emergency water supply if you have the filtration system for it. So that's another reason why you have situational awareness of your neighborhood. And all right, if you find out that there is and the one way you can find out if anybody's reporting, the police are coming to a specific house a lot, most police departments have a police blotter. And most of them have it online now, so you can look, at and see if any of the addresses are in your neighborhood where they are coming to, and you can make note of what it was and why, and keep a little log separately of just your neighborhood. And if you have one that keeps popping up, then hey, all right, that could be a trouble spot in case everything goes bad. So I'm just checking out the content, the chat here. So one of the things to consider too, if there is a bad house in the area, is it next door to you? Is it in your block on your on either side of the street in the block that you live on, or is it the house back behind you? There are things to look at, to figure out what's going on. And I've heard stories and stuff around from the different police departments and stuff I worked associated with in California there. They actually found out when they had someone that was trying to be neighborhood situationally aware. Because all of a sudden that person was found out where the bad houses were, and every time something was going on, most of the neighbors would do we want to call again? That guy was calling. All right, this is what's going on. This is what's going on. And they were called to these houses more often, and they actually wound up with more evidence to haul the people off, or the people realize, crap, nobody around, people are calling the cops on me all the time, and they move. So, did I miss anything else? All right, so I'm sorry, I'm just reading the chat here, some of the comments here. Yeah, if there's a neighborhood watching area, that's another way to get information, because neighborhood watch people are generally more on the up and up, and those are the type of people you want to try to make friends with. A load of information about what goes on in the neighborhood. Gary, you're trying to pull who was it that was I think it was Skinner that was trying to do the naked gardening. All right. Yeah, abandoned houses or houses in really bad repair, even if someone's living there, can be a bad sign for your neighborhood. If there is nobody's living there, it could, you could have squatters in there coming in there. A friend of mine bought a house in what's now called Bay Point. Back then it was West Pittsburgh. Of course, when they changed the name to Bay Point, everybody at all the deputies at the sheriff's department called it Gunpoint. Tells you what type of neighborhood it was. And I went over there with him because he thought someone was squatting in there. Yeah, we chased out 6 people out of there. And one of them tried to go, you can't come in here. And I fortunately I had my badge with me. I go, sheriff's department. Oh yeah, when I said sheriff's department, they were flying out the windows and everything. So you got to be careful about houses like this. If you have one, report it to your city or your county. Tell them you're concerned about health issues. Besides reporting to the sheriff's department, report it to the health department. If there's a bad house like this, report it to the health department. Something like this, health department's going to come in and say, hey, okay, and they're going to try to contact the owner. If they cannot contact the owner. They're going to get the sheriff's department out there, and they're going to do a health inspection on that house. If they find like black mold in there, they're going to condemn the house. So that's one way of getting rid of an eyesore house like that. One of these, same thing. You know, health department is your friend on a house like this, where they got garbage just piled up and everything else. So one of the things that we had here even up here in Idaho, there was one house that had relatives that are pulling their trailers in and parking their trailers on the property and running, flexible hose over to the sewer clean out. And the city passed an ordinance, you cannot have people living in a trailer on the property in the city limits. They're visiting if they come in, they're from out of state and they're visiting, that's different. But after 2 weeks, they need to get a permit from the city to stay any longer. And that's the one thing, we had 2 houses like that, and all cleaned up now. And the one guy's selling his house, he's moving to a different city. And so we got rid of our low life around here. Okay, what's going on? Okay, I can't do it. I need a hacksaw. Watching the neighbor's abandoned house. Mom went to a caregiver for 2 years ago, and son passed away last fall. Yeah, that can get to be a problem. Yeah. Hey, Idaho Garden Girl, how's it going? Yeah, so when you got houses like that, you got to watch out for it. Now, this is a red flag. No, this is a red flag with fireworks. Can anybody guess what this is a red flag for? So I'm going to give you guys a few seconds. I'm about 8-10 seconds behind from what's showing up in the what you guys are seeing from what I do here. Okay. Froze. So can anybody say, guess what what you see in this picture is a sign for about a house? Yeah, Gary got it. Yeah, meth. Yeah, it's getting right behind the meth lab. Yeah. So yeah, this is when they got this the bottles with all the funky stuff and all the acetone and stuff. Yeah, they're making meth. So yeah, if you see something this next to the side of the house, and just as you walk down the street, you see that crap in there, and it smells weird as you go by that house, make a call. Let the police know, because you want that house out of there. And some cities now, they find a meth house. They'll go in there and they'll call in a hazmat company and they'll remove the house. They'll tear it down, tear out the house. They'll test the soil. If they need to, they'll dig out the soil and send it off to a hazmat treatment place. Basically, everything gets run through an incinerator. So that's one way of being situationally aware of your neighborhood, what's going on, and helping to improve your neighborhood at the same time. This one pisses me off. I like dogs. I mean, I had a black lag golden retriever mix. My mom had a toy French poodle. My sister had a bunch of Chihuahuas, and then went on to Papillons. My dad had a Papillon that as soon as it was weaned, my sister gave it to him. He carried it around in his shirt pocket. The dog was that small at first. And my brother had dogs. We all had dogs and stuff, and we treated our dogs nice. We treated them like members of the family, not like some beast to be chained up outside. This pisses me off. Houses like this is a quick call to Animal Services, the SPCA, and anybody else I can think of that deals with animals. So yeah, I mean, it's like, Anyways, so if you have that in your neighborhood, please do us all a favor. Make a call. Drop a letter, whatever, anonymous letter if you have to, whatever. If you're worried about them being tithing, you just take pictures, print it out, mail it in, or drop it off at the counter. This, of course, once again, YouTube, this channel does not condone this. We're using this as a bad example. All right, so I'm going to skip by so I don't get dinged on this. But stuff like that, they can say freedom of speech and stuff, but when some of the words they're using there definitely classifies as hate speech, and they can have the house cleaned up, or they can have it condemned. Now, anybody have any idea about this? What's on this garage door here? What is this a sign of? So I'm going to give you guys a few minutes to think about it, and we will proceed. But yeah. So if you see this on one or two houses in your neighborhood, it's something to think about. Give everybody a chance here to add in here. Oh, let me get that out of the way. Yep, Skinner got it. Now, so this, you got gangs in the area when they're tagging people's houses, and sometimes when they got a bunch of tags on, on something like this, because it looks like they've got two different gangs in here crossing each other's tags out. So this is disputed territory, which can cause a lot of problems, being disputed territory. And then the next one here. Hey, all the things acres. How's it going? This here lets you know that, well, this is a gang house or a house where gang members live with their parents or in a cohab. But yeah, so they got a memorial to one of the gang members that passed away. So that's another sign to call the police. Say, hey, did you guys know this is a gang house here? So yeah, if you have something in your neighborhood, and I froze, a phone call or something, or a simple complaint or whatever can get the ball rolling sometimes. Sometimes that's all that's needed to get the police to focus on a particular problem. All right, community events and stuff. Some communities have great events. Some have mediocre events. Some don't have events at all. One of the things I liked about Martinez, California, there was in the summertime, actually late spring to early fall, they had what was called the Peddlers Fair. And hey, CB's in the house, Hugo Homestead. Woo! They had the Peddlers Fair, and they shut off Main Street and a couple side streets, and everyone kept setting up booths, and sort of like a flea market, but on a higher class scale. And there's stuff going on. They sometimes have a band come in and playing in the plaza, and they'd have events like this on Saturdays. On Sundays, they'd have the farmers market going on down there, and they would shut off Main Street again. On Friday nights, late Friday nights, they'd have Friday Night Lives, and they'd have bands come in, and they would shut off a smaller area, and they'd have bands playing. So they had a lot of events going on downtown. In some of the outlying parks around the city, they try to get stuff going on and have events. And a lot of the civic groups would become sponsor of the events at the different parks going around. So this is one of the, this is something to look into. And this is a place where you can actually make friends and influence people. If you have a big playground or something that's in your neighborhood, that's a place to go and actually talk to parents and get to know parents and their kids, so that if you're driving by and you see one of the kids there, you don't see the parent goes with that kid, and you see a stranger walking up to them, might be a type of a red flag thing to stop and say, "Hi, you know what? Hey, do you know so and so here?" Or not even use the name. To say, "Hey, do you see have you seen Betty around? I don't see her. I see her kid here, but I don't see her or whatever." And sometimes that's all that's needed to scare off a predator. Sometimes. Okay, I talked about some of the events and stuff. Like they would close off Main Street Martinez and set stuff up. Sometimes some cities will actually in an area where there's a lot of restaurants on the weekend will shut down the street and let the restaurants put tables all out in the street, and they have basically like a big party going on. Oh, Rita, cool. All right, here's some input. Oh, I missed Kaylin's too. So Rita says we have bike nights, festivals, restaurant down walk. Yeah, the walk. One of the things that Main Street Martinez does 3 times a year is they have the beer crawl. The zombie beer crawl is at Halloween time. The flower beer crawl is in the spring, and I forget what they call the one in the middle of summer. And there are a lot of pubs and microbreweries there, and they go from one. They run tours from one to another to another to another, and it's one of the events. Having stuff with food trucks and stuff that they come in too for the beer crawl, and they'll set food trucks up along the route, so people aren't getting totally smashed. They get food in them before along with the alcohol. And yeah, and was it so check around what's going on. And sometimes if there's a park near your house and they're not having an event, go down and talk to the city activities, whatever it is, or people deal with all the parks and stuff. They usually have a branch of people in there that deal with setting stuff up, and find out why there's nothing going on there. All right, got a question here. I am not one to comment about this, really. Although my grandson across the street is autistic, we don't advertise it. Pretty much everyone in town that knows my daughter and her family knows about Eli and everything. So people know about him, and I know how to react with him. So, but I'm not putting signs out. That kind of may advertise to people you don't want to advertise it to. So I personally would be leery about that. Hey, Tammy, Rebel Canners is in the house. Oh, yeah. There are, of course, the big festivals and stuff goes on. Shoot, I'm trying to remember the one. National Night Out is really big in California. National Night Out, they have in every park, they have activities going on. At most of schools, they have activities going on. Downtown Martinez, they have activities going on. I mean, it's they got like 10 or 15 different things going on. And since the Highway Patrol main office for there is in Martinez, we have a lot of Highway Patrol out and about. The main office for the Consolidated Fire District is there. So we have a lot of the fire departments out there. The ambulance guys are out everywhere. All the civic groups are out there doing stuff. And, festivals are around. You can also find out if any of the festivals have kind of like, you don't want to go to this one. You want to go to this one over here. So let's see. What was it? My granddaughter had a boy in the house with her at my daughter's. Oh, yeah, neighbor came over today, let me know. And your daughter wasn't home, right? Okay. Oh. And Dragon Slayer, yeah, I probably would have done that too. Okay, window stickers. Hugo, all right, that's one thing for window stickers, people with disabilities and stuff. The small window stickers, yeah, okay, there is that too. The other thing to do too with that, a lot of fire departments have a book, and you go down to find out which fire station is going to be responding to your area, and talk to them. And they have a book, a rescue book, and they put that information in the book so that they know when responding to that house, they know what to do. And you can even draw out a blueprint of the house and with marked on it for them. They love that. Fire departments love that. That way they know what's going on when they're, if there's someone with a disability or with a communication disability or whatever there as well. Okay. Check through your, she had permission. Okay. Yeah, Kaylin, that's something to check out with the different community groups, whether it's the Shriners. I'm just sorry, I had just a brain fart here. The Masons. I'm trying to think of all the Moose, the Elks, whoever, and get them to, and some of the, the CERT teams. The CERT teams like to break up and set up at all the different parks and try to get them to start setting up multiple parks and get like real estate companies to set up booths. Everyone likes a chance to set up something to do anything. So, check with them on that. Oh, cool. Rita, you have an on the ball group there. They're sending out forms for people to fill out for special needs cases. That's fabulous. I love that. Let's see, is this the last one or do I got another one here? Yeah. And once again, increased technology doesn't always increase situational awareness. About the only thing that does technology-wise is Google Maps, where you can look out and learn about your area. Sometimes, like every month, once a month, open it up to see if they've updated a picture. And if you ever see the funny little minivan driving around or the little sedan that has that funny tower on top of it, they're updating pictures. But yeah. Oh, this just made me think of something else. Is there a school in your neighborhood? Either elementary, middle school, junior high is what we call them in California, or high school. So, because each of those bring with them a whole a pattern of stuff you need to know about what's going on in your neighborhood. Okay, fire down. A house down the street had a fire this afternoon. Hadn't seen it, but heard it. Heard it was bad. No one hurt. Yeah. See, keeping in touch with your neighbors and stuff. Sometimes you'll find out about stuff like that. And Kaylin says she's got a school 2 blocks from her. Well, I got 2 schools blocks from her. Sorry, I misread that. Not much out here in Hillbilly Deluxe. Oh, still the thing is though, going back to what happened 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago with, was it the Bassards or was it Stringfield Ridge? they got someone swatted them, and while they're doing and fortunately the deputies that showed up, they knew. And it's like, oh, we got a call. What's going on? No, we're doing our live stream. Come on in. No, type thing. And so, yeah, sometimes people just for pranks, not necessarily because you're a YouTuber, but, do a SWAT call on somebody. So if you get to know your local law enforcement, it helps you out. Generally, you'll have 3 or 4 officers if you're in a city that wind up patrolling there because of the schedule. There's a day, swing, graveyard, and they overlap on weekends and stuff. They have different schedules, but usually about 4 of them that are signed on rotation to an area, maybe 5. And if you can get to know them at different times, leave a note down at the police department. Hey, can you have so and so have the then stop by so I can say hi, so I can get to know each other a little bit, so they if we anything happens, they know a little bit about us. So that helps out a lot too. It really the police love it when you call to get out for a get to know me. They absolutely love it. And the thing is, so you may not just have the officer, the beat officer show up. He may show up with the watch sergeant and or the lieutenant, and they all may come up to meet you. Hey, because they love people that do that. Yeah. I forget. I know they tried swatting Dave at Southern Ohio Prepping, and there were a couple others they tried to SWAT. And so, when that swatting was going on, I went down to the sheriff's department and introduced myself to the sheriff. And when he found out who I was, his eyes got about that big around. When he found out I used to be Homeland Security, I know I'm retired now. And so I got invited to come down there anytime I want. Asked me if I wanted to be a reserve deputy. So nope, I'm retired. I'm getting too old to do that stuff. I was on my way home from a family, and the police called me to say I was being assaulted in my apartment, even though I was not home. Yeah. Yeah, that's the it's interesting. People do stupid things around. It could be a neighbor. It could just be someone just going through the internet trying to find. Okay, here's one. We're going to do this one here and see what happens. Yeah. The deputy tries to come to our city council meetings as well. So I've run into the deputy several times, for the swing shift. One of these times, I guess I'm going to have to have a little barbecue out here and invite several of them up. So let's see the next one here. Yeah. So, situational awareness, we've talked about it a lot. There's, Steve has had several videos on his channel. Corsair Trainers. If somebody could throw up the link to Steve, Corsair Trainers with an S, I'd appreciate it. His motto on his is making fewer victims. So check out some of his stuff. He has a lot of good situational awareness videos over there, and he has it both from the part of from being a Marine and being working in the federal prison system. So he has a lot on for situational awareness on that. Sorry, keeping up on the chat here. Yeah. Well, if you got a small post office and you get to know them very well, they can clue you into also a lot of stuff going on in your neighborhood as well. So All right. Does anybody have any questions about or anything that we talked about that I may have missed? Any comments I may have missed? Oh, Passamaquoddy has 3 elementary schools, junior and high school less than 5 minutes away. 5 minutes away, there's a lot of things that can happen from the events at the junior high and high school, especially if they do a lot of sports. All right, let me get this up over here. So while I'm waiting on that, I'm going to get my schedule up here. All right, so for Memorial Day, next Monday, I'm not going to go live in honor of our fallen veterans. And so what I will recommend is if you go over to Camp Patton Family Compound, my other channel, I have a playlist called Patriotic. And there I've linked another site called the Warrior Song Project, and they have songs for each of the branches. And I know it's something I like to tell people about on Memorial Day and Veterans Day. All righty. So with that, I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight and all the comments in the side chat. It was great. And so, what am I doing next week? Well, next week on Tactical Tuesday, since it's the last Tuesday of the month, I'm doing one of my events that I like poking holes in what the fear reporting channels are doing. And this one is, and actually, there are a lot of people are buying gold right now, and somebody keeps on popping up. Oh, they're going to confiscate your gold. They're going to confiscate your gold. Well, that's what we're going to talk about. And I'm not sure if I can get one of these guys that deal with it to come on and talk about the litigation dealing with gold confiscation. Yes, they did it once upon a time, and it went. And so we now have everyone can have gold again. Hey, Klingon Princess, how you doing? So that's what's coming up next Tuesday. The following week in June, the first Monday and Tuesday of June, we're going to be talking about Monday on Camp Patton Family Compound. We're going to talk about plants that defend your gardens. And then I'll talk about mini survival kits, aka tins, and I'm going to try to get both Uncle Al and CR, Creative Redundancy, up here because they both make a lot of tin kits. So, and I froze. So that's what's going to be going on in 2 weeks. All righty. And anything else here? No. All right. Just a reminder, I am on Camp Patton Family Compound. Let's see here. I am 33 away over there from the 2,500 subscriber giveaway. So that's what's going on over there. When we hit 2,500 subscribers on over there, 33 more subscribers, I got a giveaway in the mix. Got a video on it. So with all the rules and stuff. So that's what's coming on. And just to let you know, on Camp Patton Family Compound, if you're a channel member, you're automatically enrolled in all giveaways. It's only 99 cents a month. All righty, folks. With that, just so I can remind everybody, stay happy no matter what life throws at you. Don't go out and do anything foolish. Or as my son says, quit telling them to do stuff foolish. Tell them to quit doing stupid stuff. So don't do anything foolish. Keep adding to your preps. Water's the number one thing. Food, medicines, skills. Learn more skills and plant a garden. And someone else just came in here. Vision Preparedness, how you doing? You got in here just as we're wrapping it up here. Do I have to be a mod over there to share it on your community tab? No, you don't have to be a mod to share it to your community tab. You can go in, you can bring up the video, just copy the link and post it in your community tab. That's what, you know, Courtney, sorry, just having a brain fart here. Joe, Garden State Gardener, Gardner, Josh, they all just, you know, each other's, they just throw stuff in their community tabs all the time. All right, folks, I will see you around. Won't be seeing you on Monday. I'll see you next Tuesday here, or Friday, this Friday, midnight Eastern time, 10 o'clock Mountain time, is the midnight ride with GrayManPrepping. Last Thursday, we did 3 hours. And so it's driven by you guys. I'll start off with a couple of current events, and then whatever you guys want to talk about. We spent a lot of time talking about gardening. Dustin came up and we talked a lot about gardening, and we talked a lot about stupid stuff we used to do as kids. So that's what's on Thursday night. The midnight ride is all about. It's just chit-chatting, whatever you want to talk about. All right, CD. We all want to try to stop doing this stupid stuff. All right, folks, I'll see you around. Take care, and I'll see you later. And come on, YouTube, StreamYard, let's end it.